In this video, I'm bringing you the most complete guide you're going to find anywhere on new construction choices in Prosper. And if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you exactly where I would buy if I was moving there. But we're going to go even beyond just Prosper. We are going to cover every single new construction community that's also within Prosper ISD. Now, if you're new to Dallas, you might be wondering why in the world I would feature new construction with such a focus on a school district. I mean, you do have a ton of A+ school districts in Dallas, but you'll lose a lot of them right out of the gate if you also want new construction. I mean, most of them are established suburbs that are landlocked. Then, if you want quick access to the highway, you'll lose a few more. And if you want A+ rated schools, quick access to the highway, shopping, and entertainment, and you want new construction, well, you have basically just taken the entire Metroplex and narrowed it down to Prosper ISD. As we're looking at these communities, we're going to see homes from the $365,000 range all the way up to well over $1.5 million. So this is going to be within reach for a lot of buyers. Like literally anyone from the mid 360s on up can get into the Prosper area and one of the best rated schools in Dallas. But of course, knowing you're within Prosper ISD isn't enough. You want to know things like where you're going to find the lowest tax rate. Is there a PID or a MUD? Like who has the best amenities? And of course, you want to know which builders there are to choose from and what Google reviews they have. So I picked the 8 communities with the most new construction choices, and then I compared all of those things. And get this, one of our communities costs $385 more per month for the exact same priced house due to all the PID and MUD taxes. I mean, that is a massive difference. So if you're shopping in Prosper ISD, you need to know this information. So let's go ahead, let's dive in. Let's get started with Windsong Ranch. Now, as we zoom in on Windsong Ranch, let's go ahead and get our bearings. This community sits just north of Highway 380 in Prosper. And if you've ever driven 380, all right, you already know it's a mess. So tons of lights, lots of stop and go. So even though the Dallas North Tollway isn't far, as the crow flies, you're looking at about 8 minutes to get there during peak traffic. Once you're inside Windsong Ranch, okay, it feels endless. Over 2,000 acres sprawling, right, with a mix of pre-owned and new homes, massive in scale, and definitely not your cookie cutter subdivision. With Windsong, you're getting a more established subdivision that still has some new construction. The current property tax rate is 1.948%. And here's the big surprise. You have no PID and no MUD. So that is rare for a community this size with this level of amenities. It's gonna keep your monthly payment low, especially on $1 million home where taxes plus the $193 per month HOA add up to around $1,816 a month. One thing I should add though, and I want to make sure that you know this, is Windsong has something called a community enhancement assessment that you have to pay at closing. Basically, you have to pay 0.3% of the sales price, and that's in addition to your regular HOA transfer fees. So, while we're, oohing and eyeing over the fact that there's no PID or MUD, just know that if you buy in Windsong, your closing costs are going to be higher. The piper has to get paid somehow. So the question is, what do you get for that expense? Well, you get a lot, okay? Windsong is famous for its massive crystal clear lagoon with a white sand beach, but that's actually just the start. They also have the Commons, okay? And the Commons offers everything from tennis and pickleball courts to a full-blown fitness center, resort-style pools, an event lawn, and even an outdoor living room with a fireplace. Then, okay, we keep going. There's the Bridge, which adds a catering kitchen, amphitheater seating, and more green space. And don't forget the courthouse, okay? Covered and uncovered racket courts, a beer garden, and social spaces. Altogether, okay, you've got 600 acres of open green space, 30 miles of trails, mountain biking, a dog park, community garden, and even an 18-hole disc golf course. School-wise, you are in Prosper ISD, of course, with Windsong Ranch Elementary scoring a 9 out of 10, William Rushing Middle scores an 8 out of 10, and Prosper High at 7 out of 10. Builders actively constructing here include Coventry Homes for one. You also have Tradition, Bloomfield, Southgate, Normandy, and Shattuck Custom. Now, price-wise, for new construction, you're looking at $700,000 to like $1.2 million, but pre-owned townhomes can dip as low as $405,000. So really it's gonna depend here on lot size. This place, it is so spread out and varied that it honestly, feels almost like a bunch of different neighborhoods kind of stitched together. As for builder reputation, let's go ahead and talk about that. Reviews range from 4.4 to a perfect 5.0, with 5 out of 6 builders scoring 4.5 stars or higher on Google. Now, as we go through these communities, we're gonna find some will be in Prosper and some in Salina. We're gonna find some will be in Denton County and some in Collin County. Now, those are important distinctions, and I'm gonna tell you why. Salina loves their PIDs, all right? They love adding in those extra taxes, and that's how they fund things. Well, Prosper doesn't do that. Also, another important distinction, Denton County doesn't have an added tax for a community college, but Collin County does. So our lowest combination is going to be Prosper, since it won't have a PID, within Denton County, which doesn't have a community college tax. And that is exactly what we have in Windsong. And there's so much to love about Windsong Ranch. Your lower tax burden, your high Google reviews, and then just all the amenities and green space are absolutely beautiful. Now, shifting gears to Edgewood Creek in Salina, this one feels very different from Windsong Ranch. You'll find it way out near the intersection of FM 1385 and 428, and that's quite a bit west of the Dallas North Tollway. And the location matters here because 1385 isn't exactly an easy drive. It's congested, and during busy times, it's gonna take you a solid 20 minutes to reach the tollway. The community itself is small, it's just 240 acres, and it's definitely more of a budget-friendly option. It's also a lot newer. On the MLS, there are 9 homes listed right now, and 8 of those are new construction. So picture that this is a new community, and get this, okay, while we're thinking about the fact that this is a new community, when we were driving through, okay, there were already for lease signs in some of the yards. And I know we talked about this before, right? It's not that renters or rentals are bad, okay? They meet a genuine need, but you tend to have frequent turnover and residents who don't have a vested interest in keeping up the home. So, we've got a brand new community and already with some of their homes up for lease. When it comes to the financial side, the tax rate here is 2.041%. There's a PID, which adds $165 a month, and the HOA fee is $71 a month. So if you were to buy a $1 million home, your total monthly cost just for taxes, PID, and HOA would be around $1,937. Anytime I hear there's a PID, all right, I ask myself why. Okay, like what is this paying for? Well, for that kind of monthly payment, you're really not getting much in return. Just a pond and some paved trails. Okay, so there's no community center. There's no pool, no courts, nothing beyond the basics. For schools, you are in Prosper ISD, of course, but all 3 schools, Virgie, Smotherman Elementary, Mosley Middle, and Richland High, they're all brand new. So none of them have any ratings yet, and so we don't have a track record to look at. There's only one builder in the neighborhood, and that's First Texas Homes. Prices in the community run from about $565,000 to $745,000, which surprises me that you already have homes up for lease in that price range. First Texas has 27 Google reviews and an average rating of just 2.9 out of 5. That's the only builder, and obviously that is not a great score. So you have a longer trek to the tollway, some homes already up for lease, the PID tax for which you barely get any amenities, and the only builder there has just really low reviews. So I can tell you right now, this one is not for me. Now let's talk about Mosaic, also in Salina. This is one of the newer communities, just getting started in 2023. So you're not going to find that established, settled feel here. In fact, out of the 55 homes currently listed in Mosaic, 50 are new construction. So that tells you just how early we are in the development development process. So this is nothing like Windsong, right, where most of it is built out. And that means it's going to take a little more vision, right, because you've still got a lot of fields and a lot of dust. The entrance has a nice monument and gives a good first impression. You also have a brand new school, and then the main amenity area, which is still under construction. There's a lot of building happening throughout the neighborhood, and so far from what is built, the homes honestly feel a little tighter together than I would personally prefer. You're gonna find Mosaic just north of Frontier Parkway and west of the Dallas North Tollway. So the location is actually pretty convenient. It's about a 5-minute drive along Frontier to reach the Dallas Parkway, which feeds directly into the tollway. So that's definitely a plus. Now, the community itself covers about 760 acres, not small, but also not so massive that it feels disconnected. On the financial side, well, we're in Salina and the numbers are gonna catch your attention. All right, the property tax rate is 2.041%, and there is a pretty hefty PID at $332 a month, plus a $148 per month HOA. So altogether, if you were buying a $1 million home, your monthly outlay for taxes, PID, and HOA would be around $2,181. So that is $365 more per month than what you would pay in Windsong Ranch for the same price point. So if that PID were to change, okay, that would definitely make a big difference. But what are you getting for that extra cost, right? That's the question. Mosaic is planning some pretty big things. All right, there's gonna be a large amenities center with a lazy river and pool complex, a lake with fishing piers, a fitness center, indoor and outdoor gathering areas, a creative tree house, play area for kids, and miles of hike and bike trails. So, but that's a lot on paper, okay? So what you wanna be aware of is that most of it is still being built. Now, as for schools, we're looking at Virgie Smotherman Elementary, Mosley Middle, and Richland High. But just like we saw with Edgewood Creek, okay, these schools are brand new and they don't have ratings yet. There are 7 builders actively working in Mosaic. We have American Legend, their 40-foot series, Bloomfield, Cadence, Drees, Highland, Perry, and Tradition. Now on the MLS, listings range from a $420,000 townhome all the way up to a luxury home on a 70-foot lot for over $1.2 million. The setup is similar to Windsong Ranch in that you've got a wide range of price points within the same neighborhood. Now, as for builder reputation, the community is still pretty new and it really doesn't have much feedback. But so far, all right, reviews range from 4.4 to 5.0. Now, of the 4 builders with Google reviews, 3 of them scored a perfect 5.0 and only 1 fell below 4.5. So overall, this is looking promising, but you are definitely paying a hefty premium to be there. All right, let's take a look at Legacy Gardens, which we're gonna find in Prosper. This one is tucked just north of Prosper Trail on the west side of the Dallas North Tollway. So location-wise, it is super easy to get in and out. You can be on the tollway in about 3 minutes, which is great if you need to get to work or you just want to avoid a long commute. The neighborhood itself, it's on the smaller side. It's about 300 acres and it feels more quiet and tucked away compared to some of these larger master plan communities. It also has a more focused price range, all right? Out of the 15 homes currently listed, 11 are new construction. So it is definitely still being built out, but it's not in its very earliest phase. And from the looks of it, you can kind of tell it looks like there's another phase coming soon. The tax rate here is 1.991%. And here's the good news. There's no pit or mud. All right, not a huge surprise since you're in Prosper and not Salina. The HOA is $138 per month. And if you're buying a $1 million home, your total monthly payment for taxes and HOA would come out to around $1,797. So that's actually one of the lowest monthly totals we've seen so far in this price point. As for amenities, you've got a pool, a playground, a fitness center, a clubhouse, a community center, and a pond. So nothing over the top here, but the basics are covered. The entrance takes you right into the amenity area, which makes it feel like everything is within easy reach. So overall, the look, it's kind of clean and simple. It's not super flashy, but it is well put together. School-wise, Joyce Hall Elementary doesn't have a rating yet since it's so new, but Reynolds Middle School is rated 8 out of 10. And Prosper High School comes in at 7 out of 10. So these are solid scores, especially at the middle and high school level. There are 2 builders in Legacy Gardens. We have Dries and Riesland. Homes here are priced between $930,000 and $1.4 million. So you're definitely in the higher end range, but not quite in full custom territory, okay? In terms of builder reviews, you've got one scoring above a 4.5 and then one just under, with overall ratings ranging from 4.3 to 4.5. So not perfect, but not bad either, okay? Just something to keep in mind as you weigh your options. Now let's take a look at Light Farms in Salina. This one's located just north of Frontier Parkway and to the east of the Dallas North Tollway. It is a really convenient spot, okay? It's only about a 4-minute drive to hop on the tollway, which is great if you're commuting or you're just trying to get around town easily. Light Farms is also one of the larger and more established neighborhoods in the area with about 1,070 acres. It's been around a while and you can feel that, okay, when you drive through. Of the 73 homes currently listed, only 11 are new construction. So most of what you're seeing here is resale. The tax rate here is on the higher end at 2.433%, and that does include a mud tax. Now there's no PID, but that mud still bumps up the monthly cost quite a bit. The HOA is $125 per month, and if you're looking at $1 million home, you're looking at about $2,153 per month for property taxes and HOA. That puts it right up there with some of the most expensive monthly totals we're gonna see in Prosper ISD. Now, the amenities in Light Farms are pretty hard to beat. All right, you've got 5 resort-style pools, a market and cafe inside the neighborhood, fitness center, tennis and pickleball courts, basketball, bocce ball, sand volleyball, okay, you name it. There's also a bike share program and over 13 miles of hike and bike trails. And then there's the community space, right? You've got the barnyard. That's their big central lawn where they host over 200 resident-only events every year. We're talking like things like, concerts, movie nights. Beyond that, you've got 240 acres of green space and the 90-acre Constellation Park, which includes dog parks, a dog launch, an 11-acre beach lake, and even on-site campgrounds, okay? So this is a packed list. As for schools, Light Farms Elementary is rated 9 out of 10. Reynolds Middle School scores an 8. And Prosper High School comes in at a 7. So you've got strong ratings across the board here. There are only 2 builders still actively building in Light Farms. You've got Shattuck and Toll Brothers. There used to be a lot more, right? But we know that by now it's mostly resale. Pricing on pre-owned homes starts around $435,000 and climbs all the way to $1.75 million. New construction is priced between $627,000 and $1.1 million. When it comes to builder reviews, we only have data on Shattuck, which has a solid 4.8 rating from 104 reviews. Toll Brothers doesn't have any reviews listed right now, so it's a bit of a question mark there. I tell you what, okay, if you're an avid walker, okay, you want to consider both Light Farms and Windsong Ranch because they definitely have the trails. Now let's take a look at Star Trail in Prosper. This community is located just south of Prosper Trail and west of the Dallas North Tollway, and that's going to put you in a great spot. You're only about 3 minutes to hop on the tollway. Star Trail spans 900 acres, so it's large, but it's still smaller than Windsong Ranch. And while Windsong Ranch had that much wider price range, Star Trail definitely leans way more upscale. I mean, it really has like an elite feel, and the homes here tend to stay in that higher end range. Now, this isn't a brand new community either, all right? It's been around since around 2017, and right now, of the 37 homes listed, nearly half are pre-owned. The entrance makes a strong first impression, I can tell you that. It's got a fountain, a pond, and lots of green space. The roads are very wide, okay? Everything feels open, and there's a bit of a country club vibe to it. It's broken up into several separate sections, which helps the neighborhood feel organized, but still connected. And even though it does span like 900 acres, Okay, it still feels walkable and not overwhelming. The property tax rate is 1.95%. And there's no PID or MUD here, go figure, right? Because we're back in Prosper. The HOA is just $100 per month. So if you're buying $1 million home, your total monthly payment for taxes and HOA would be around $1,723. So that is one of the lowest monthly payments in this entire area for a community that still offers a long list of amenities. And speaking of amenities, okay, Star Trail delivers. There's a large clubhouse with party rooms, outdoor lounge spaces with a fireplace and a big screen TV, and 3 resort-style pools. You have a sunning pool, a leisure pool, and a children's pool. You also get 2 party pavilions with grills and dining areas, a 1-acre playground with a covered picnic pavilion. You've got lighted tennis and pickleball courts, and even a second amenity center with more pools, a putting green, another playground, fire pit seating, and additional pickleball courts. For schools, Joyce Hall Elementary is assigned here, but they don't have a rating yet. William Rushing Middle School scores an 8 out of 10, and Prosper High School comes in at 7 out of 10. There are 5 builders in Star Trail, and pricing really reflects that high-end vibe I was talking about. New construction runs from about $995,000 up to $1.55 million. Now, pre-owned homes, they go as low as $625,000, but that's pretty rare. Like when I looked online, there was just one at that price point, and then the rest jumps up very quickly to the mid 800s and beyond. And honestly, like what I was thinking when I saw that, I was like, man, that one $625,000 listing, that could be a smart buy given the surrounding home values. As far as builder reviews go, they're pretty solid. The 5 builders have ratings ranging from 4.4 to 4.6, with 4 out of 5 scoring 4.5 or higher. So that is a good sign of consistency and overall quality across the board. So Star Trail is one of my top picks for sure. Now let's talk about Starview in Prosper. You're gonna find this one just north of Highway 380 and to the east of the Dallas North Tollway, right next to all the restaurants and shopping at the gates of Prosper. It's a great location, and you can be on the tollway in just about 2 minutes. This is the smallest and most exclusive community on our list, okay? They're only gonna have 173 lots. Homes here, all of them sit on 64 and 74-foot lots, and the entire neighborhood is brand new construction. All right, we're talking very upscale and very new. It definitely, though, when you look at it, it's gonna take vision to see the potential on this one, but there's a lot to be said for getting in early and getting the best pick of the lots. The property tax rate, okay, let's talk about that. It's 1.991%, and there's no PID or MUD. So hopefully you're seeing the difference by now between Salina and Prosper in that regard. The HOA is just $42 a month. So if you're buying a $1 million home, your total monthly cost for taxes and HOA comes out at about $1,701. So that's actually the lowest monthly payment of all the communities we've covered. As for amenities, all right, this one doesn't have the typical list of pools and sport courts, right? But it offers something different, okay? This is where you're gonna get your oversized lots and a walkable setup. So you can easily walk to dining and shopping at the gates of Prosper. So really, it's just a different vibe here. Now, school-wise, you're looking at Rucker Elementary, which is rated 7 out of 10. Reynolds Middle School is an 8 out of 10, and Prosper High School comes in at 7 out of 10. So overall, a solid lineup. There are 2 builders in Starview, and that would be Highland and Tradition. Prices here start at around 1.35 million, and then they're going to go up to about 1.55 million. So it's pretty clear the focus here is on delivering a more private, high-end neighborhood experience. Now, I will say this, okay? The choice in builders here is a little surprising. Like Highland Homes has an upper end luxury line with their Huntington brand. So I would have expected them to go with Huntington here, but they didn't. Plus Tradition Homes, they typically don't build in that million-plus luxury level. So, and don't get me wrong, I love Tradition Homes. You just tend to see them more like in the upper 8s and 9s. I love the elite high-end feel of this neighborhood though. It's not like it's my top pick necessarily, but it definitely has my attention. Since the community is still so new, just know there aren't going to be any Google reviews available yet. It's just too early to have much buyer feedback to have come in. But if you're looking for something very fresh, right, very exclusive, and then walkable to all that shopping, right? Starview is worth keeping on your radar. Now let's take a look at Sutton Fields, where we are back in Salina. This neighborhood is located on the east side of FM 1385, which it puts it pretty far west of the Dallas North Tollway. So if you're commuting, expect about a 15-minute drive just to reach the tollway. Sutton Fields is actually made up of two separate areas. You have the original section, which spans 622 acres, and then you have Sutton Fields East, which is a whole lot smaller at around 110 acres. The property tax rate here is 2.04%, and Sutton Fields does have a PID, but it works a little differently than most. Instead of a single flat rate, the PID is divided into multiple neighborhood improvement areas. So your monthly PID assessment definitely depends on the specific home you're buying. Now that said, most homes fall within a range of about $116 to $210 per month. The HOA is $45 a month. So if you were buying $1 million home here, okay, which is, okay, it's gonna be unlikely in this neighborhood, but we're gonna still use that amount, okay, for consistency. So if you were to buy $1 million home, your total monthly cost for taxes, PID, and HOA would fall somewhere between like $1,863 and $1,957. As for amenities, Sutton Fields offers a pretty solid setup for its price range. Okay, you're gonna find 2 swimming pools, an amenity center, walking paths, multiple ponds, acres of open green space, and even some community pocket farms. It's not overbuilt, but there's plenty of space to enjoy. Now let's go ahead, let's talk about schools, okay? Dan Christie Elementary is the assigned school, but we're gonna see again, it's so new, it doesn't have a rating yet. Now for middle school, you've got William Rushing, which is rated 8 out of 10, and Prosper High School comes in at 7 out of 10. So overall, you've got a solid lineup. There are currently 3 builders active in Sutton Fields. We have First Texas, Mattamy, and Pacesetter. Now, depending on your budget, pricing here is one of the big selling points because you've got pre-owned homes that start as low as $365,000. And then you have new construction beginning at around $471,000, then topping out near $730,000. So if you're looking, for a more budget-friendly way to get into Prosper ISD, all right, this is one of your best options. Now, on the review side, okay, let's talk about that. It's a bit of a mixed bag. The builder scores range from 1.8 all the way up to 5.0. Now, of the 3 builders, only one has a score of 4.5 or higher. The other 2 fall below that mark. So for this one especially, it is definitely worth doing some extra homework before choosing a builder here. So where would I settle if I were moving to the Prosper area and I wanted to be in Prosper ISD? All right, well, let's do a quick recap, okay? You have Windsong Ranch, a huge 2,000 acre community with a ton of amenities, including a pretty unique lagoon, and still lowish monthly costs since there's no PID. All right, then you have Edgewood Creek in Salina, which is gonna put you at a pretty high trek to the tollway and has higher monthly costs, limited amenities, rentals popping up already, and a lowish rated builder. You also have Mosaic. Now with Mosaic, you have a brand new Salina neighborhood with a great location and big plans for amenities, but right now it's still dusty, under construction, and pricey with a steep monthly cost that you really have to justify with future vision. Then you have Legacy Gardens in Prosper, which is a quiet, upscale neighborhood with a super convenient location, no PID, no mud. All right, you got solid schools and all the essential amenities, plus some of the lowest monthly costs you'll find in this price range. Light Farms is a large, established Salina community with top-tier amenities, strong school ratings, and a super convenient location, but with a high mud tax, okay? It is one of the pricier options. Now, Star Trail in Prosper, all right, has a high-end country club feel with great amenities, low monthly costs, solid builder ratings, and a prime location. Starview in Prosper is a small, upscale, brand new neighborhood with oversized lots, the lowest monthly costs on our list, and a walk-to-everything location near gates of Prosper. So definitely one to watch if you're after something exclusive and early stage. Then we have Sutton Fields. Sutton Fields in Salina is a more affordable way into Prosper ISD. You've got solid amenities and school ratings, but it's a bit of a drive to the tollway and it has mixed builder reviews. So it's budget friendly, but you'll want to choose your builder carefully. Now, if I had to choose, I can tell you my top 3 contenders would be Windsong Ranch, Starview, and Star Trail. But at the end of the day, I think I would go with Star Trail. Like, I love the homogeneity it offers of high class, upper scale homes. I just love the country club vibe. Now, I do want to touch on one thing though, all right? You might be thinking, Wendy, I know I can find Prosper ISD within McKinney as well. Okay, why didn't you talk about those? And yes, okay, when I think about that, Astor Park is one that comes to mind. And the answer though to your question is I've already done a video all about McKinney, including those that fall within Prosper ISD. So if you're interested, you can watch that video right here. In the meantime, this is Wendy Pennell, and I will catch you on the next video.